Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining us here this evening. We've got a strong storm system moving our way. A little bit of good news, though. This is going to weaken or go into more of an unfavorable environment for some of these stronger storms before it makes its way over here to southeast Georgia and the low country of South Carolina. So that's good news. But look at this system. It has brought tornadoes to Texas, Louisiana. We've got a strong system still pushing through Arkansas, now mainly under the gun over in Mississippi. This is what's going to be moving our way tomorrow, and that's what I'm going to be telling you guys about here over the next few minutes. If you have those questions, you can put them on in here in Facebook. I'll be looking at those and hopefully answering some of those for you guys. So I wanted to show you something over on the WTOC First Alert Weather app, though. This is something that is pretty useful on these days where we have the potential for some stronger storms. Now, what I did was I put a video in that app so that you guys can check that out if you can. And also, I've got the live radar that you guys can see, of course, at any time of the day, which is always useful out there. So that's over on the iPad. You guys can have those on your phones, of course, just a good tool to have. Maybe we'll get that a little bit later. But let's focus on the task at hand, and that's the forecast for tomorrow, right? For now, it's pretty quiet all across the area. There are a couple of downpours out there. Notice that many of us are dry out there. Good evening to get out there, get some errands done tonight, because tomorrow, not only do we have that chance for thunderstorms, it's also going to be a bit breezy. I'll have that for you here in a moment as well. Just going to get past where we're seeing a few of these storms first. Now, no lightning with this. This is off to the northwest of Statesboro, going to the Aaron area, just off to the east of Twin City, moving off to the north. That's really the only rain that we're seeing right now. We're not going to see much of anything in the way of rainfall tonight into tomorrow. Chance for isolated showers, sure. We do have some rain that's down over in Florida right now that could bump up a little bit, bring in a few showers to our inland communities. Same folks that saw rain earlier today, like over in Brantley County. But the high resolution radar shows pretty dry conditions for us going overnight into the morning. But notice cloud cover pretty thick. That's going to be something that helps us not have as great of a chance for severe weather tomorrow. Of course, that's definitely what we want here. But it is a first alert weather day. Impactful weather, something to just keep your mind on and check back on the forecast there every now and then. That's why I was promoting the WTOC weather app. This is not a part of the First Alert Weather Day as a whole, but the forecast. We've got windy conditions, wind gusts over 20 miles an hour, possible 25 here, going through the afternoon. It's going to be a breezy day ahead of this cold front that's coming through, those storms that you just saw that are over in Mississippi right now. So let's break down the categorical risk. Now, don't think too hard into this with the fine line that's right here. Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon into the evening, the best risk is going to be for folks that live, say, in Bullitt County, Statesboro, Vidalia, down to Hazelhurst, Coffee County. Really middle Georgia, north Georgia have the best chance for severe weather tomorrow because that line's going to be moving through here, at least for us here in southeast Georgia, during peak heating. Southerly wind, you got the wind shear, you got the moisture, you got the heat, you've got some things going on in the mid to upper levels that really favor a little bit better chance of some of these storms being stronger in middle Georgia. But as this progresses towards the coast, still a chance to see some of these thunderstorms within this line moving our way that could be severe. Now, the good news is that I do think it will be weakening, but it'll take until about an hour to 2 hours after sunset before that severe threat really goes away. And by that time, the rain should be moving closer to the coast. So, of course, this is going to change. This is from the SPC out of Norman, Oklahoma. And that risk, the slight risk, could shift a little bit. It really depends on if the system slows down a little bit overnight, speeds up. That could put you guys in a different categorical risk, but of course we'll keep you updated on that. The overall forecast not changing, just timing this out a little bit. I mentioned it's going to be pretty warm tomorrow. We're looking at mid-70s along the coast. Great beach day for the first half of the day. It's going to be windy though, sand blowing everywhere. Otherwise, temperatures and cloud cover not terrible, but it will be windy. But look at this, especially where we're seeing the chance for that heavier rain, the stronger thunderstorms possible. Forecast it could be in the lower 80s there. It's actually a pretty safe bet for tomorrow. So what about the threats? Well, timing this out, throwing the threats up here, we're looking at about mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock for those western communities, talking about you guys over in Mount Vernon, over in Hazelhurst. Those areas are definitely going to be closer to the 3 o'clock in the afternoon time frame. But as we head into the late afternoon to evening, that's when it's going to be moving closer to 95, going past Bola County, coming over closer to us here on the coast. Wind gusts going to be the primary threat for tomorrow. Pretty safe bet that even with just typical non-severe thunderstorms, you can get 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But if they do go severe, top leading edge of this is going to be closer to 60 miles an hour. And that just means one or two communities could have that severe thunderstorm warning. And then it's just going to be embedded within this line that's moving our way. Not the entire line. The entire line won't be severe, which of course is good news. But little portions of that squall line, as we call it, will be a little bit more convective, a little bit stronger. And that's where you could see these gusty winds. Heavy rain really for a lot of folks along that. Looks like that rain aspect of it will be diminishing a bit as it gets closer to the coast. As well into the evening, hail tornadoes not a huge threat here, but it's still a low end risk. It's not zero. So that's what we're looking at. I am going to show you one of these models so you guys can kind of have an idea of what's going on. I don't think that it's giving us the best look at what to expect for tomorrow. Now, just one thing to consider here is that each model run is going to vary just a little bit, but stormy conditions possible here into the evening. Now, this just kind of picks up on rainfall rates. It's not a high resolution model, but it does show that really afternoon to the evening, stormy conditions possible here, mainly inland heading toward the coast for the afternoon and the evening, which is just the timing of the front. Typically, we have those afternoon thunderstorms anyway this time of the year. This is just a little bit more organized because it's tied to a low pressure system, the front that's on the south end of that. So that's just one of the models. Once we get a little bit closer, the high resolution model is going to pick up a little bit. It's going to be a little bit better of timing this out. And I think we've got it pretty well timed out now. But that's something that I'll post on my Facebook and Twitter later tonight. If you guys aren't following me on there already, I would love to answer your questions on there as well. So another thing that people have asked about, of course, the Masters. That's broadcast here on WTOC. Looking okay. I know they moved up the tee times in the morning, so I think we're going to start broadcasting the Masters at 9, but afternoon up there in Augusta, that's when the storm threat increases. It's a little bit earlier for them than it is for most of us. So that really is it for the storm threat. It's nothing to really sound the alarms about. Days like what we're talking about for Sunday afternoon into the evening, it's a day to make sure that just to be safe, you got those phone charged, the WTOC weather apps alerts turned on for whenever we put out these customized videos. They're very short. They're a minute. They're very informative. There's one in the WTOC weather app right now, and that's a lot of information for you guys in just a minute. So we won't have the early newscast Sunday afternoon because of Masters coverage. So the weather app's going to be a good friend for you guys. Also, just looking at WTOC.com, we've got the forecast written out for you guys there as well. Of course, you can always shoot us an email, shoot us a message if you have any questions. We're here for you guys for that. But the other end of these thunderstorms coming through tomorrow is that this is actually tied to a cold front. Now, it's not necessarily going to get cold by definition, but it is going to drop down to the 70s for us Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday morning will be on the cool side for at least springtime with those morning lows in the lower 50s. But what does that look like for the rest of the week? Midweek warming right back up. Coastal rain chance late Thursday. Friday, this next system comes through. Yes, this is the weekend for the RBC Heritage. It's something that we're going to have to watch again for the system. It just seems like we're timing these out for weekend after weekend. We've got rain. Hopefully we can break that pattern soon. But right now, I would say after Sunday evening, afternoon into the evening, next best chance of rain will be on our Friday. First things first, though, we have to talk about, of course, the first alert weather day on Sunday. If you guys have any questions about that at all, I'm here for you guys the rest of the night. Be back in tomorrow. And we'll be back on tonight for the news at 11. I'll have a little bit more detailed or pinpointed forecast coming your way as well. If you have questions about specific towns, cities, I'm going to get on to Facebook here and try to answer those questions for you. I hope you join us tonight at 11. We'll be back then. Until then, have a good Saturday evening.